Well, not just Gauteng, but also KZN preparing for heavy rains this weekend. The province already had to endure damaging weather. So just how ready is it, considering, of course, the influx of holidaymakers to the coastal area this time of the year? It's always good to hear from KZN Cooperative Governance MEC, Sihle Zikalala, joining us now. MEC, good morning to you. Just how bad is the situation weather-wise? We'll talk about plans in a moment. Just help me understand, what are you watching closely at the moment?
Well, our teams are conducting a assessment of what have happened in the last 2 days. What we have noticed is that there has been a heavy rain in various parts of KwaZulu-Natal, but no major damage except partial damage to some houses, especially in areas that are along the coast. We have received an information from weather services that suggests that in the next 2 days, the rain will subside, but also it's indicating that we must brace for heavy rains during the weekend. So our team are alert. They are on standby to assist where they are needed.
I see one worrying report as well, MEC, which I'm sure you can just provide clarity on. I see Midmar and Henley dams. This is up in Umsunduzi, of course, the local municipality, overflowing. When we use the word overflowing, are we talking about flooding of Midmar, or is it just overflowing? How concerned are you about that for the houses that are downstream?
We are quite concerned about houses that are downstream. We have advised the communities that live around those areas to evacuate, because you would not know as it continues to rain what will happen. The 2 dams are overflowing, and that poses a threat on people who are on the downstream areas, and that could have a serious damage to their properties.
Would you need, you imagine, at any point assistance, MEC, from national government?
Not at the moment. As I have said, we have not suffered huge damage. It's partial damage in some houses, but also we have not suffered any fatality. And we are grateful for that. It means when we issue alert, people are listening. For now, we will not need any intervention. But as and when if it happens that things get worse, we will, of course, not hesitate to call on the national government for assistance.
Talk to me about the readiness of the provincial JOC, or Joint Operations Centre, and also disaster teams in the province. Talk to me about their readiness.
Our disaster teams are coordinating their work, composed of teams that are dealing with disaster specifically, but also having social development and other relevant departments. We have operations or the centers in all districts, all 10 districts, and the metro has its own disaster management centers. They are operating, meeting daily to assess the situation. And if the situation gets worse, they will be able to meet at least 2 or 3 times a day. And it depends on which municipalities are affected. When there is a municipality that we see that it gets affected, we send more team to those or to that municipality, so that we'll be able to respond on time.
I'm glad you brought up the question of municipalities, MEC, as well, because it's those far outlying areas, those small villages, small municipalities that often don't get the help they necessarily need as quickly as possible. Where are we on evacuations? Have evacuations of residents in any part of KZN been activated?
We have activated teams to be on standby, but there is no area where we had to evacuate people, because for now the rains have not been that bad. But we have teams that are on standby and they are ready in case they are needed. What we can appreciate is that when we issue alerts this time around, communities are able to respond positively and listen to the messages and the warnings that we issue.
Let me ask you this in closing, MEC. A lot of tourists heading your direction in the next few days as well. What's the warning to them? Are there any areas in KZN that tourists should be avoiding for the next few days? I see heavy rain predicted again for this weekend.
Well, there will be heavy rains along the coast, but for tourists, we don't believe that the situation could be bad, because we believe they'll be going to central areas such as Durban or Potchefstroom or the northern part. And therefore, we believe that we will still encourage tourists to come to the province. What we are worried about is low or lying areas where people could just be affected because they are living around the rivers, and that then pose a threat when it rains.
Well, I appreciate the time this morning for us, MEC, with the latest. KZN Cooperative MEC Sihle Zikalala just talking about the Provincial Joint Operations Centre, disaster teams on high alert, rain persisting down in KZN. The SA Weather Service as well, I see, giving a report for the rest of the week. Should subside from today to Thursday. It should let up a bit, but heavy rain is going to return over the weekend. But very worrying, and I'm sure we'll follow up with Midmar and Henley dams. This is up in Umsunduzi.